Rain, snow, summer heat. He brought fresh flowers, always the same kind white lilies. Emily loved them. He would sit on the cold stone bench, talk to her softly, and tell her things he never said out loud when she was alive. I should have taken that day off. I should have kissed you longer. I should have said, I love you one more time. Then he'd go home to an apartment that still smelled faintly like her shampoo and repeat the process the next week. For 10 years. People noticed. The groundskeeper noticed first, then regular visitors. Some thought Daniel was devoted. Others thought he was broken. No one spoke to him. Except one day someone did. It was a teenage girl. Maybe 17? Maybe younger. She stood a few feet away, holding a small bouquet of wildflowers, her sneakers muddy from the rain. Daniel barely acknowledged her. He assumed she was there for someone else. But then she spoke. You come here every week, don't you? Daniel stiffened. He didn't look up. Yes, he said quietly. There was a pause. Then she said, My mom did that too. That made him glance up. The girl's eyes were red, but not from crying today. From crying a lot, over time. She visited my dad every week, the girl continued. 4 years. Daniel nodded, unsure what to say. She stopped coming, the girl added. His chest tightened. Why? He asked. The girl swallowed. Because she realized she was still alive, and he wouldn't want her to disappear too. Then she looked at him and said 4 words that cracked something open inside his chest. She still mattered. Daniel didn't respond. Couldn't. The girl placed her flowers down, gave him a small, polite smile, and walked away. But her words stayed. They echoed in his head all night. She still mattered. 4. The first time in 10 years, Daniel didn't sleep. The next morning, Daniel stood in front of his bathroom mirror. He barely recognized the man staring back, the hollow eyes, the untrimmed beard, the weight of a decade he'd been carrying alone. He thought about Emily, about her laugh, about the way she used to grab his face and say, Promise me something. What? He'd ask. Promise you won't stop living if I'm gone. He had laughed back then. Don't be dramatic. Now it hurt to remember. Because he had broken that promise. Every single day. That Saturday, Daniel went to the cemetery, like always. But this time, he didn't sit. He stood there, holding the lilies, and felt something unfamiliar. Guilt. Not for surviving, but for hiding. I don't know how to do this without you, he whispered. But I think you'd be mad if I didn't try. His hands trembled as he placed the flowers down. Then, for the first time in 10 years, Daniel turned around and walked away before the rain started. Change didn't happen overnight. It was slow, awkward, painful. Daniel joined a grief support group and sat in the back without speaking for weeks. He started answering his phone again. He took a part-time job at a local community center, fixing things that broke chairs, doors, old shelves. It felt good to be useful, to matter. One afternoon, while repairing a loose cabinet, Daniel heard a familiar voice behind him. You're here more often now. He turned. It was the teenage girl from the cemetery. She smiled shyly. My mom volunteers here, she said. I recognized you. Daniel felt his throat tighten. I wanted to say thank you, he said. You didn't know it, but you saved me. The girl shrugged gently. I just said what I needed someone to say to my mum. Daniel nodded, understanding more than words could explain. Years passed. Daniel still visited the cemetery, but not every week. Sometimes once a month. sometimes just on anniversaries. He still missed Emily. He always would. But the pain no longer controlled him. One spring morning, Daniel stood in front of her grave, sunlight filtering through the trees. "I met someone," he said softly. "Not replacing you. Never that, just someone who reminds me that life still has moments worth staying for." He smiled through tears. "I think you'd like her." As Daniel walked away, a small child laughed somewhere in the distance. Birds chirped. The world kept moving. And for the first time since that Tuesday afternoon years ago, Daniel moved with it. Not because he forgot his love, but because he finally understood something simple and powerful. Grief means you loved deeply, but living means you still can. And sometimes, all it takes to come back to life is for unexpected words from a stranger who reminds you that you still matter.